Ultra B2, capital G here. The Time Thieves are in the building and they are looking to take down meta. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I believe that Time Thieves are now a meta contender. I believe that this is a deck that can easily top 8 regionals, and that's something that they could not say before. Maybe we even see them cross over to the YCS level, make a top 32. I could definitely see it. Anyways, first duel is against Go Second Sky Striker. That's not something that's outside of the norm. We have seen builds on builds of Sky Striker predicated on going second. You can see he has the evenly match. He's got a hand trap. It's not really a bad hand, all things considered. That Foolish Burial Goods does get him a draw basically, and he has the Ash Blossom for the Time Thief Regulator, which you never want to let this card resolve because it's just a +2. They get Winder from their deck. Winder will get a search, they'll get Redoer, and then it's just pretty much a wrap at that point. So he gets lucky, but maybe not the greatest top deck. Getting, was that Hercules base? Yeah, not necessarily a good card, but he did draw Engage, so that kind of gets him started. He'll get to Hayate. His opponent does have 2 hand traps for him, so I don't believe that Kagari or Shizuku will actually resolve this turn. So that's unfortunate, but at least his opponent is, the Time Thief player is kind of bleeding cards if you're rooting for Sky Striker here. He's down to 2 cards, but it's fine because he has another copy of Regulator. As I said before, that will get him a +2. Gets him 2 monsters on board, but then the Winder will also be able to search him a card, so that's pretty good. He'll go into Redoer, probably just go ahead and attack because his opponent does not have access to the Ray. He went to Hornet Drones, and he ends up getting another card off the top. He's gonna go evenly match, but that actually doesn't help him because with Time Thief Retrograde, which he search off Winder, he can just suck up the evenly match, and now he has a trap card, so he has the ability to spin a card, plus he got the jamming waves off the top of his opponent's deck. And Redoer is so good against Sky Striker specifically because your chances of getting a spell card are just like ridiculously high, and obviously spells mean that you get to draw some cards. So we'll see. He's gonna draw a card off Metaphos Fusion. Lucky, man, this guy keeps top decking them damn engages. He's gonna spin back the Area 0 back to his opponent's deck. I did not like this. He's going to use Ghost Ogre on Area 0, which just means that Ray is going to come out 100%. I would have just let him resolve it and maybe he ends up missing, but yeah, that was definitely an oopsie play. He's going to go ahead and spin back some of his extra monsters or some of his extra deck cards with the Hercules base that allows him to go into Kaina, or excuse me, not Kaina, but Kagari and then Shizuku. And he has lots of pluses, but Time Thieves are not out of this yet. Thousandizer's strict. Go ahead, try to suck the monster up, but looks like he's going to use, oh man, I can never remember this card's name. Eagle Booster. I was going to say Afterburner. He's going to use Eagle Booster to protect himself, and I think he's okay because he's now just going to be able to use the trap effect of Redoer to spin back the copy of multi-roll. And without multi-roll, obviously Sky Strikers do lose their ability to grind hard. Looks like he got multi-roll again, so maybe it didn't even matter. He's like, Cap G, I got multi-rolls for days. He is just gonna say, no you don't, I'm gonna spin it back to your deck anyways. And he'll attack into Link Karibo. Obviously, that's just going to make him have 0 attack. He'll run over Winder, then go right back into Shizuku. The thing about it is, him running over the Perpetua means that he gets the Regulator back from the graveyard. And that's not something you really want to do if you're dueling against Time Thieves, because again, this is basically Rescue Rabbit, or yeah, it's Rescue Rabbit for the Time Thief archetype. So it just kind of gets them, more cards. And he's going to use Flyback's effect to get himself a spell card. He'll probably get another spell off the top, which he does. And now he's just going to use the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine. He's going to go back into Perpetua. And look at all the materials this guy has. He's going to spin back the copy of the Shizuku. He gets hit with evenly match. Don't even matter because he did have a field spell on the field. This means he gets to keep his 2 most important monsters. And even though he is going to go ahead and take his opponent's Perpetua, it's not going to really matter because when he goes to use Area 0, he can simply use Ash Blossom, and now he doesn't really have any plays. I like this. He's running 10 Yi cards in his main deck. The reason why is because these 10 Yi monsters can just special summon themselves, as your first kind of monster on field. His opponent knew he didn't have any more options, and he is gonna scoop it up. By the way, the Perpetua was coming back. Obviously, the Redoer was coming back. This man was starting to get traps and all this other stuff. And with a dead Metaphos Fusion, well, I guess he could have just attacked him for game during the next turn. So that's why he's gonna scoop it up. Second duel against Cyber Dragon Orcus. And Cyber Dragon Orcus, known for being a deck that can go first or second. He opened up with Regulator, that being that +2, looking incredibly strong. And man, when you open Regulator, guys, your turn 1 fields are very, very impressive. Now, maybe not against Cyber Dragon Orcus specifically, because they got the Contact Fusion, and they can either force you to use Redoer, but if he does use Redoer, then he loses his ability to use Retrograde. So he is going to use Retrograde, suck up the spell card, but he's not going to be able to draw because there's just no more opportunity for him to tag out. He's going to Contact Fuse and attack. At least he did an Orcus combo, so it's kind of nice. He gets a card by the grave. And I think he's going to go ahead and go Beazle Ship, goes for Perpetua, gets another Beazle Ship, and he's going to pass. I would assume at some point he's probably going to try to reborn the Redoer from his graveyard, but that is going to be met by Called by the Grave. That was unfortunate. If he would have been able to get Redoer from the grave, then, he's definitely like right back in this duel. But it's not going to happen, at least not during this turn. Gizmek's going to summon itself. He's going to go for Nightmare Phoenix, trying to pop the back row, but Called by the Grave is going to be used against him this time, and Gizmek is going bye-bye. Already activated his effect earlier this turn. That's not going to happen. He is going to go ahead, and this was a really cool play. So he uses Effect Veiler on the Mermaid, and his opponent did discard Orcus Nightmare. So you would think, well, it doesn't matter, Cap. He got Orcus Nightmare in the graveyard. He can still full Orcus combo. No, he can't. He activates Beazle Ship, and he's actually going to take the Orcus Nightmare, and he's going to equip it to Perpetua as a material. That's another thing about Time Thieves that's awesome. You can take your opponent's monsters in the graveyard, and you can use them as your materials, which can kind of stop them from activating for at least a turn anyways. But he is going to go, I think he may have set, he set Flyback as just kind of a potential disruptor way of taking one of your opponent's cards. I think we might see another Contact Fuse here because he does have Cyber Dragon on field. Nope, looks like he's just going to go into Galatea and activate the effect to get the orchestrated Crescendo. But now he did kind of lock himself out of Crescendo because he took away his Orcus Xyz monster, and he also gave him Regulator back. But Regulator can't activate the effect at this point because he does have monsters on the field. That was a nice trick, going to suck up some monsters. Now he has Redoer, and he might be able to potentially follow this up with a Perpetua. He's just getting some damage in. I would imagine he wants to get a spell card, but he's probably just going to get a monster card. He is going to go ahead and take his opponent. He's gonna get looks like a Cyber Dragon Core off the top of his opponent's deck, but he also took his Harp Horror from his graveyard, which is obviously kind of spicy because it means he can't really do anything. Now when he tries the Monster Reborn Dengirsu, he gets caught sleeping again. He's just gonna activate Beazle Ship, and he's going to equip the Dengirsu from the graveyard. You gotta watch out, man. Trying to get cards from your graveyard when playing against Time Thieves doesn't always work because they have Flyback, they have Beazle Ship, they can take your cards from the graveyard and they can put them on Redoer or Perpetua, and then you won't get access to those cards unless you, I guess, kill the the Xyz monster, or you force them to use like Redoer's effect. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed those short duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.